Hey y'all, welcome to YOLO with ToLo. Happy Wednesday. Hope y'all doing well. I cannot believe it's episode 51. Let me try to get Lonnell on here. Today we are talking about, every one of us has a like to-do list of, or like a bucket list of things that and activities that we want to do one day. So instead of talking about the to-do list, we're going to talk about the you do you list and putting yourself on that schedule and doing it. So let me try to get Lonnell on real quick. And if you are here, message us below. Let us know where you're at, what city, what the weather's like. I'm in Sacramento. What's up?
Hey, is that
How are
better?
you? Yeah, it's
I'm
better.
good. Don't
Thank
mind
you.
my Adidas and Nike clashing of the brands, but whatever. Neither one of them is paying me, so
Okay, they need to pay you. They need to pay us.
right.
What's up?
What's
So
up?
Kevin is our producer today, and I'm excited to chat. Today we're talking about the you do you list. You know that list that we all have, like, things that we want to get to one day to, be our better selves. Today we're talking about doing that because there's
Right.
no better time
Instead
than
of
now.
eternally putting them off, because you just put that list off, and it just stays like in the dream state. We're talking about prioritizing it and bringing it to the forefront.
Yeah,
Do that
one
list.
of
Do
the
you, boo?
one
You
of the
do
master
you.
manifestors that I'm talking to here. I'm good. I'm in Sacramento, seeing family. What about you?
I'm on the road in Virginia, and
Yeah,
it's hot.
yes, you have been. I can't wait to talk about all your travels later. You've been.
Oh my
Where
God,
have you
yeah.
been since our last talk?
uh, a lot of places:
Many
Iceland,
places.
Turkey, France, Canada. It's just been wonderful, wonderful. But yeah,
Okay.
we'll talk about
Hey,
that a little
Alex.
later.
Hey, Alex. Good to see you. Um,
Alex,
so Kevin is on in San Jose today, virtual, and he's going to be producing. Hey, Kevin, and timekeeping for us. And we
Kevin,
both are on tight schedules. So shall we get to it? Let's talk about hot
please,
topics.
please.
And sorry today we don't have my
First
janky
up,
little signs, or I shouldn't say janky. They're made. They're bespoke. They're
because
artisan.
you've kept them in pretty good condition.
Okay, episode 51, and they're still like crisp because I keep them in a folder.
That's just
Hey, Rich.
crazy, but
Good to
okay.
see you.
Richie,
So, okay, so hot topics today. Let's talk about, last was it 2 weeks ago? Last week we were both traveling and running around, so we couldn't chat. But it was recently, 2 weeks ago, is Bourdain's death anniversary. And
right,
what's been popping up on both of our feeds a lot is it's his celebration of life anniversary, right? He turned
right.
63, no,
He
63
would have
years
been
old
63 yesterday, I believe. Yes.
yesterday, something like that. Yeah. And so, talking about today's topic of you doing you, I mean, tomorrow's not promised. So, to me, from this side of the world and not knowing Anthony Bourdain, um, it seems like to many of us, when what took us by surprise with his suicide was the fact that he seemed like he was living a really full, rich life, right? I mean, became a chef, traveled around the world. Some people put a lot of, value on fame and money and seemed like he had all that. Um, but really, I felt like it was a celebration of his legacy, don't you think? So many people, instead of
Yes.
talking about suicide, talked about like how he affected them
Talk
and what
about
he's done
life
for
and
the
what he
world.
contributed and how, right. And it goes to that saying, that your legacy is. I think Maya Angelou said that your legacy is every life that you touch. So instead of
Hmm.
focusing on the negativity, or the horrific way in which he died, focusing on how he touched people while he was here and while he was alive. And the same
Yeah,
thing
I'm,
with
I'm,
Michael Jackson, because it was a
yeah,
10-year
yeah.
anniversary of his passing as well.
Wow, it's been a decade.
A decade.
That's crazy, right?
And despite
That is
people trying
crazy.
to tarnish and destroy his legacy, he's is still MJ. So he'll be
Yeah,
all right. Hey Timothy,
yeah.
hey Kevin, what's up?
Hey, Timothy.
So
Hey,
yeah, I
Fiona.
think it's
Um,
just a critical. You never know. Yeah, that's very important and very true that your legacy is every life that you touch, because no matter who tries to destroy it, it's gonna live on. You will live on if you've touched somebody's life, and each of us hopefully we've got time. Our arrival here on this earth should touch somebody's life. So, and what you do will touch more. So I think it's important to note that.
Right. And if we only saw ourselves in the lens, the graceful lens of the way God, the creator, sees us, you know, we are all so much more magnificent and powerful than we actually think. And you know, I hate the word influencer. You know, like you see a lot of these fake influencers on Instagram and everywhere else on social media. But what I'm talking about is, you know, I'm spending time with my niece and nephew this summer, and they're going to do Uncle Toan camp again in San Francisco. So, you know, the things that the time that we share with people, even the conversation that you and I have, the time that I spend with those kids, and the little things that we talk about and the experiences that we have really build that character and have an influence. Like they have an influence on me, and I have an influence on them, and we all have that influence on others. And I love that Maya Angelou quote so much because sometimes we think that we need to be like Oprah status or like Barack Obama status to, you know, to have that platform, but really we all have whatever platform that is in our network, right?
Right, right. And you do, and you really need to be aware of that and stop comparing yourselves to somebody else's platform. You're not here to
Yeah.
do they're here to fill their lane, you're here to fill yours. So, you know, keep
Yes.
focused forward. You can't have time to be looking over here and over there and worried about what's behind you. Where are you going? And if you do that,
I
you will touch more
yeah.
lives. You will.
Yeah. I love that you say the lane because really that I really feel like we're all in the fast lane, especially with technology and all this like social media and all that, right? But I really feel like we are all very unique and different individuals, down to the point where even identical twins don't even have the same fingerprint. I mean,
Right.
we bring a presence and energy. I love how Gary Zukov says this is our earth suit that we're using because we are a presence first and foremost, right? And
Right.
the presence of somebody that's physically not here, although that's greatly uh, felt in terms of like the hole in your heart when you lose somebody, um, the you can also sometimes feel that presence if you
Right.
are aware, and sometimes you're just like, I'm thinking, and sometimes it comes in the you know, I guess it shows up, I guess, in a thought that you have with somebody, right? Or a memory. Or sometimes it's actually, you and I always talk about the whispers. Sometimes it
Right.
comes up in the whispers of people.
It's always there if
So
you just
I love
if you just
that.
pay attention. Right. If you pay attention to what's going on
Yeah.
around you, that they're always right there. I hear my grandmother every day.
Yeah. Oh, I know, right?
I
And
do.
another funny thing is like you're just talking about you know, grandmothers. Like my grandmothers recently both. Okay, so exciting thing that's sort of happened, a hot topic in my life is that apartment therapy. If y'all don't know about apartmenttherapy.com, you need to get on there because they do amazing DIY tips. They have some branded content too, and that's how they make their money as well. But they give great DIY tips on how to make your home healthier, but they also do home tours. So they recently did a tour on my home, and they featured the story of my home and the story of me and how I founded the Style Your Spirit thing. And I talk very openly about, and all this, though this might sound woo 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 woo, but both of my grandmothers, one very stylish, one very spiritually powerful, um, you know, spoke to me recently. And that's how that styleyourspirit.co, the whole idea of simple design tips that give you big spiritual shifts. So it's one interior design tip, one spiritual shift. And I have been for the longest time, you know, you and I have talked about in terms of like design and what that means to us and how, you know, we design our lives and design our homes. And for me, style is how you show yourself to the world. And I've been really hiding that part of myself because I realized in doing the work on myself that I was always ashamed of my own personal
Mm.
style, and always ashamed growing up poor of having people over my home, and not really feeling like at home with that part of me that I always hid. And so this was like full throttle out into the world. So it was like, you know. So anyway, so it was really exciting. They came and did a beautiful. They sent a photographer, and then they did a write up on my new Style Your Spirit venture. And I just think it's so important to talk. We're talking about today, you know, the idea of getting on that, putting yourself on your to do list, because all of us have that. Oh, if I just had more time, or if I had more money, or whatever it is, right? And
Or
we
one
just
day
like,
I'm gonna do this, or one day
yeah,
I'm gonna do that, or yeah, when I have some time one day I'll take some time to do this or do that. And it's like, no, child, do it. But yes, we'll talk about that.
So that's what I've been doing. What have you? Yeah. So what have you like it lately have been doing on that list?
For me, it's been taking time out and traveling, the traveling thing, even though a lot of it has been work related, but I've been able to really just get out and do, because my thing has been like, I really just want to make sure, because I recalibrate most powerfully when I'm in nature, some form of nature. I don't need to be out
Me
like,
too.
I
Me
don't need
too.
like camping and
Recharging.
pitching a tent and pissing in the forest kind of stuff, but you know, my idea of nature. But the recent travels that I've had have taken me to some places where I've really just been able to just sit and be like, wow, oh, okay, God. You know, you just sit there and marvel because what else could this be? So for me, that's what it's really about. It's about, for me, it's been about finding nature in those spaces where I'm traveling.
Yeah. Being in nature has been a big thing. And you know, one of the things now that we're on episode 52 and have about a year of talking under our belts, um, this has been to me has been on my to-do list. I mean, we get busy and we run around, but we're always like even last week when we're really trying to figure out a time to talk and we just couldn't make it happen, like we have been in touch, and that means so much to me. And you know, I know that you know we live in this world and this framework that we got to work and make money and all that stuff. And while that part is just a slice of it and is important, this stuff is just like invaluable. And connecting with you
Right.
guys at home is invaluable. And it just really, I like. I don't want to get all emotional about it, but it really like has affected me. And I just don't know sometimes till later how certain conversations have really affected me. And I just hope that that does the same for you and everybody else at home.
Yep. Kevin is saying it's time to move to the next segment. We don't have the signs to flash, but
It's like onward. So, okay, so Dump the Hump. This is where we share our wisdom and life lessons, and we want to hear from y'all too. So, let's start off with you. You share first. You first, and then
okay.
me. You know, in the Asian culture, we respect our elders, boo.
Try Jesus, boo. Don't try me.
So okay, so yeah, so I want to know like what is on your you do you list, and that list that you, let's be real, like the stuff that you have been doing, but really I want to know the stuff that you have not been doing that you want to get to.
The first thing, yoga. And I actually started
Mm.
going back. I've taken 2 classes in the last week. No, 2 week and a half. But it's been something on my list because it's like you know it's a perfect opportunity. It's a meditation. It's just great. It's relaxing afterwards. Uh, and it's been on my list.
It's relaxing
Yeah,
during.
well, I'm like, that way, maybe after a few laps, I was like, okay, why am I sweating? And like, she's talking about breathe. I'm like, I can't. But no, but it's been on my list to do for a while, but it's just always kind of been in the back. Like, yeah, I'm gonna get back to doing some yoga. Yeah, da, da, da. And now I've made it a priority. And that's been the number one thing, and it's actually happening. And also focusing on fitness because I would like earlier this year I had like I hit the crisis weight on my scale in my mind. I was like, oh no, 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 no. And so I've been working, you know. So now we've hit the crisis weight. We've acknowledged it, and now we're taking the corrective action. So now the weight is moving in the other direction. So those two things have been major on my to-do list, and just making more time to spend with myself, not by myself, but with
Mm.
myself. And whether it just be
Mm.
treating myself to a movie or whatever, I'm just trying to make sure that I keep that in the forefront because there are a lot of things that are going on in my life, like professionally, personally, not bad, but just busy. And so I
Yeah.
really am making it an effort. But the yoga is a huge help. That's because that's been on my list for a while, and I've been constantly putting it off and constantly putting it off, and now I am actually doing it. So
Good for you.
that's
Yeah.
been mine. What about
Namaste.
you? Yay! Namaste.
You know, the funny thing is, at the gym, people are always like, you know, oh, you're so flexible, blah, blah, blah. And, you know, they think it's genetic, but it's not genetic, honey. My sister, who's a yoga instructor, has taught me that when I was 16, she was teaching yoga, and she said, you know what, this is the only body that you have that houses your soul, that takes you to that next dimension, that next minute, that next year, that next decade. So you got to really take care of yourself now. So if you're not working out or trying to eat well, 80%, I do this 80-20 thing, kind of like, so 80% of the time I eat really like clean, and then 20% or 10% I allow myself to have like the occasional pizza or burger or whatever. But if you don't work out, listen, young people, preacher Toan gonna say something real quick that you gotta listen to. So if you do not work out when you're in your teens or your 20s, it gets harder. So if you're working out in your teens, it gets harder when you're in your 20s. If you're not working out in your 20s, it gets harder in your 30s and 40s and 50. I'm not at 50 yet, so I don't know, but but it gets harder, right? So that just for me, that's always sort of clicked. However, I kind of slid backwards when I was TV reporting. I was just looking at a old, you know how Facebook like pops up like old photos, and I was like, dang, my face was I gained a lot of weight in my belly and my face. So I looked back at photos, and I'm just like, oh my gosh, my face was so filled out. It's like a chipmunk, and that was only 6 or 7 years ago. So I made this cognizant like aha. I had this aha and made this decision that when I'm busy, I'm going to move my body at least 3 to 5 times a week, and to the sweating point, right? Alex says, good tip, good to know. Alex, you still young, boo. So so take heed to this.
So get moving, Alex.
Right? So for me, I think my main thing is, I keep saying I'm gonna write, and I've written different chapters for these 2 books I want to put out, but it's just I still never sit down and just like do it. So I know you're writing as well a book.
Yeah, it's a process.
What's your practice? Like, can teach me, please. Send me some.
I try to commit to an hour a day, but that has not been happening.
Wow.
Actually, I need to put that on my list, because I've been that's one more thing I need to add, to really commit to the hour a day writing. Because if I start for an hour, I'll probably end up writing more. But I try to commit to that, and I'm more like maybe 1 or 2 hours a week instead of an hour a day. I like what Timothy said. He says, I'm 54, and 50s are the new 30s if you stay active. And on that note, ladies and gentlemen, yes. But that's very true. I mean, if you stay active, like they say, stay ready so you don't have to get ready. But if you start, and it doesn't have to necessarily just be working out. It's just movement. Your body's conditioned to move. Find things that you enjoy doing.
Yeah. I like that, Timothy, but you know what? In my mind, maybe that makes sense, but like maybe the big test of time is, those pic collages, maybe you take off your shirt now. No, I'm just kidding. And then when I take a photo and transpose it, or put it next to, juxtapose it to a photo of you with your shirt off when you were 30. No, okay, I'm just being ratchet now. And seeing how you feel.
And sometimes I've seen it both ways. I mean, I've seen it, tragic at 30 and glorious at 50, and I've seen it glorious at 30 and tragic at 50. So I kind of agree with him. But if you stay active and busy, then it won't become such a chore. And you just got to find ways to have an active lifestyle. It doesn't necessarily mean you got to join a gym. You just got to find something to do that you enjoy.
Yeah, go on long walks, brisk walks. Maybe if you can jog. Maybe go swim. Do you. Again, it's like at the gym. It's funny because they're always like, your mantra is you do you fitness, because the workout that I do, it's just a lot. It's really intense. I don't want to say the word, because everybody that doesn't do it says that everybody that does that kind of workout always talks about it. But the workout that I do is so intense that I go sometimes 3, 5, 6 days a week, but I don't do all the reps, or I don't do the weight that they say. You know what I mean?
Right.
I hear Fiona right now. It's naughty.
Hey, Fiona.
Timothy says, I look better now than I ever have. And Timothy, did you just celebrate a birthday? I think I saw. Happy birthday. And so did Alex, right? Yes. Celebrating life, y'all.
All my fam. I love it. So.
Okay, so let's move on to the next. Let's move on. So for me, it is writing more and reading more, and I just really got to make that time. it's just the thing that I just feel like, oh, I need to get to. So if y'all are getting to something that's on that you do you list, and you have tips on how to hack it so that you take time for it, let us know, please. Okay, so um, segment 3, talk to ToLo. Talk to us. If y'all got questions, let us know. But the first one, let me kick it off with the first one. And Lonnell, let me know what you think about this. What would
Mhm.
you say to your younger selves in terms of that doing you list? Do you have any regrets of not doing the things earlier in your earlier or formative years? That's a good one.
Oh, good question. Um, well, first of all, no, I don't have regrets about not doing anything. I because in my spiritual growth, I realized that everything is lined and aligned for me to be right where I am. So I don't really regret any of it. But I probably would tell my younger self, I don't know, because I was pretty. I don't know if it was selfish or arrogant, but I was just pretty determined. I'll say, to have my
Yeah.
way, to do things. But I would tell my younger self that it's it's okay to be on your list. Make sure that you have a list. I kind of because I kind of was doing that probably since I was 16. So I would probably I probably would say, yeah, that's right. Stay on that track, but avoid the distractions. That's probably what I would definitely say to my younger self. Yeah, you're on the right track by putting yourself on your list, but you really have to avoid a lot of these distractions. And I had a few.
What kind of distractions?
Yeah, that's not for this particular platform, but
That's a whole nother show.
that's a whole other show, darling. Yes.
Anyway, so yeah, I agree with you. I remember when I was okay. So we grew up poor, and I decided to go to a private school, the University of San Francisco, and it was hell expensive. So I had to work a lot. I worked like 30, 35 plus hours a week. I took a full load in college. I interned, I think, was it 6 times? And so the time that I had to think, because I didn't sleep a lot, was the time on the Muni or the bus system in San Francisco. And so I literally would literally sit there on the bus and people watch, and then think about like a checklist in my head of what am I doing right, what am I not doing right, what doesn't feel like in alignment or feel right, and how do I kind of move towards that right direction. Like if I'm gaining weight and my pants are getting tight, what am I doing to in my life, both personally, professionally, and spiritually? I think that really helped. But what I would tell my younger self is, don't worry as much. I worried so much about everything under the sun. And I remember thinking, am I going to ever get paid to talk? And I've gotten paid to talk and then some, became a TV reporter and like did all that other stuff at PBS and motivational speaking. And like, so you will, but like you said, I like how you said it, even though it might not, whatever circumstance that you're in at the moment, it might not feel like where you want to be, but it really is prepping you to be a better you.
Right. Yeah, it's happening for a purpose. It's in your path for a purpose. So get the lesson, move on.
Yeah. Alex says yes to worrying too much.
And Rich says
Rich,
he's
watching
watching
on
on
your
his
big
big screen. No, Rich, I don't have makeup on. Okay.
So Timothy says, I have regrets of not allowing myself to experience things because of fear when I was younger. So how did you get past that now that you're in your 50s? That's what I
And
want to
when
know.
did you get past it? Yeah, so that'll be good to know. A worry is wasted energy. Say that again, Richie, for the people in the back.
Preach, Rich. Preach, brother.
Worry
Also,
is
worry
wasted energy.
Yes, love that. And worry steals the present moment. So
it really
I
does.
know if y'all don't follow Rich Cruz on social media, I mean, you need to follow and watch his sunrise, his now famous sunrise, because always on the news down there, and I see it everywhere. But there's sunrise and sunset photos, right?
Sunset, yeah.
And yeah, sunset photos. And um, where's that going with this? With it? Oh, wasted energy. Oh, so you could be literally walking on the beach with the beautiful San Diego water and the sunset, and you could be worrying about your bills, worrying about your job, fill in the blank, right? And worry about that meeting you just had. And guess what? then you're not really at the beach, are you? So
Right.
worry is also not only wasted energy, but it steals the present moment away from you.
It does. Yes,
Oh,
go ahead,
Alex
Alex.
says
Tweet,
tweetable
tweet
moment.
that. No.
Tweet, tweet. Yeah. Worry steals the present moment. That
What
is
if you
so
spent your
true.
last day worrying about something you could not control? Now that part right there.
Ooh,
Again,
yeah.
Richie, say it again louder for the people in the back, Rich.
Yeah. Tweet, 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 tweet. We need a tweet button
What
up on here, right?
if you spent your last day worrying about something you could not control, which is most of the things you worry about are things that you can't control.
Yes.
So why? Yeah.
Exactly.
Yeah. So you have to. Yeah. It's hard to just like not worry, especially if you're accustomed to it. But you have to acknowledge when you're in
Yes.
that state of worry, and then check yourself, and whether you have to stop and breathe or pull back or whatever it is, you just have to take baby
Yeah.
steps.
And to that point, think about you, Lonnell, everybody else at home. Think about like that one time where you're like, oh crap, whether it's, your credit card bills are high, or you got in a car accident, or like you broke up with somebody, whatever it is, fill in the blank, work related, you thought it was the end of the world. Came out okay, didn't you? I mean, like, right?
In the end,
like,
it always works out. It always works out.
Yeah, right? Yeah.
So it may
And
not
Rich
be
says we
how.
all deserve peace. How? But that's the question that we're asking today here too. Is like, how do you find that peace, and how do you find peace with the stuff that on that to-do list that you list that you need to get to? That's what I still do, because I beat myself up a lot. That's my problem.
Yeah. No, I used to do that, and I used to psychoanalyze everything, and or like if I got a sore throat, I have self-diagnosed myself into a funeral. So you just worry about everything. And so then gradually I had to kind of unlearn that behavior. And as I did, there was a huge shift in my life as well. But yeah, you just really can't, we really can't afford to spend your time in worrying about that. And if you're focused on actually pulling that list, that do you list forward and making it a priority, you won't have time to worry because you'll be so busy focusing on the things that really matter in your life. Easier said than done.
We should do we should totally do a show on worry, because it seems like a lot of people are worried about worrying.
Yeah. Let's talk about worry. Yeah, next time we can definitely.
Okay.
That is a good topic.
Right? Rich says, give yourself permission. Yes. Amen to that. Amen.
Rich is just preaching today.
Give yourself permission. Okay. Tweet, 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 tweet. Okay, so the other question here is, what have you guys done recently that was nagging you on that you do you list?
Well, I think I said mine earlier, the yoga and actually being in nature. And then part of that was my recent trip. I spent some time in Iceland and got a chance to just go to some really magnificent spaces where it's just
Isn't
like,
it amazing?
Yeah, it's just like, oh, okay, God, I see you. I see you. I see you everywhere.
Yeah. How can you not feel like God exists when you go to places like that? Like Iceland was on one of my top lists to do, and I'm so glad I did it, and I'll probably do it again. When I went, there was only 4 hours of sunlight.
Okay. There was only 4 hours of darkness when I went, and there was dimness. It never really even got dark. Yeah. But it was 3 hours actually. From midnight to 3 a.m. it was dark, but it was really just dim. The sun went down and kind of went over and then came back up.
Yeah. And you brought the sunshine, because I heard it was really hot there when you were there.
85 degrees the day I was there. They were just like, what's going on? I loved it. I said, that was just for me. That was divine intervention. Welcome me.
And I talked earlier about what's been nagging me on my to-do list, which one of the main things was getting that style and designy part out into the world and spreading more beauty in the world. Okay, so let's move on to digital detox while we have a little bit more time before we digitally detox and get out of here. But dude, did you see Fortune.com and a lot of other places after that shared this? And Kevin, that was the one who brought this up, and I actually thought it was fake news at the time. But did you know that human beings, our skulls are growing horns back here because of cell phones?
Oh.
Yeah.
And I thought it was just because I was evil inside. No, really.
Because you were naughty. Not these horns. But it was what they're saying is, Kevin, correct me if I'm wrong, but people are doing this so much, and our head's heavy, especially got a big ass head like mine. I was born with this size head since I was a kid. But when you're doing this too much, this bone has been growing extra underneath it. it's separating and it's growing literally like muscles and fat and other things up there. Kevin just linked to it at the bottom
Oh,
there,
he just
but
put the link in there.
yeah,
Yeah.
can you believe that? Like
Wow. It
sometimes
makes
when I
sense
read stuff
though,
like
because I
that,
know
I'm
you
like,
put a lot of
Black
strain.
Mirror, an episode of Black Mirror.
Yeah, we put a lot of strain. Yeah, we got to fix that. So, how's your digital detox been going? What have you been up to with it? What have you been doing? How's it going?
Why when you said that, you had a little bit of like kind of motivational shade essence energy up in there?
That's your perception.
Okay, so I was inspired by you to get rid of my cable.
How's that going?
It's going great because you know what? I never even watch TV. I watch Netflix and I stream stuff. And since I don't really watch a lot of the news anymore, I get my headlines. CNN, by the way, has this thing called Morning Brew. I think that's them. But they give you like the headlines of the day. Um, and since I follow on social, I follow a lot of like news organizations, so I get little headlines from there.
Right, you'll get the
But with the
snippet.
depressing like everything going on and with politics, you know, just so I don't even miss it. But what you know,
Yeah,
one thing I will not miss is paying that extra what 40-50 bucks a month
or more. For me, it was
or
much
more.
more. But
Well, maybe you had a
uh,
better package. But you know what? What about OWN? Like I'm not getting OWN anymore. But you know what? I've
right.
been
So yeah,
listening to.
that's the only downside. But I think I have a workaround because I have a family member that has Xfinity, so I'm gonna try to get that password and watch on the app.
Okay.
Um, but yeah, I said, you know, and that was my thing. I was like, well, I don't really want to give up like the things that I really do watch. And I was like, you know, we'll just do it for a month. And
Yeah.
then the biggest relief is not having, like you were talking about, the news cycle. If I want to get the news, I can tap into it.
Yeah.
I'm just not stuck in that cycle. And I feel like, oh my God, there's a weight lifted. I feel like I'm alive again. So just not even being, you know, drawn to or committed to television, because there's a lot of stuff on TV, good and bad,
Yeah.
that I watch. So it's been nice to kind of actually, I'm like, oh yeah, you do have more time to do this. Because there was a time before where I didn't watch television at all.
Yeah.
And then I
Yeah.
went to like watching everything. And now
Yeah.
I'm pulling back to watching nothing.
Yeah. You know what? I have to say too, Alex. Yeah, I see you there. I think you're still there. My thing was scrolled up, but I think about you every morning because I thought about how you say you don't look at your phone for 30 minutes in the morning. I can't do that. You
Oh
say
no,
you don't look at it
I'm
till
not there
after
yet.
30 minutes, after you wake up. I'm not there yet. Because I get up and I like check the time and I'm like, ooh, message. Ooh. And then I'm like, get sucked.
Let's
And then I'm like, I'm
go.
supposed to
Right.
be meditating. Ah!
But at least you're aware of, you know what I'm saying? A lot of us is just, it's so habitual. You don't even, you know, you've been looking at the phone for 2 hours before you realize, oh, wait, I was supposed to take a break. So at least you're
Yeah,
aware and you're working on that. I've got a ways to go. But I'm inspired by you, Alex. I am. I'm going to
I
try.
know. I know, me too. I really need to learn. Anyways, how's your digital detox going? Mine isn't going so well.
Yeah, mine is that part's going well, the cable, because like I
Okay.
said, not watching television. Even though I still have internet and I can stream Netflix and stuff. But I'm not just like, okay, subconsciously just turning on the remote and watching the television. Even now, like I'm in a hotel room right now and the TV's not even on. So that part of the detox is giving me back, as Auntie Maxine Waters says, reclaiming my time. So
Mm.
that part's been really good. And it's been effective
So
with
since
the detox.
Okay, okay. So since you've been traveling a lot, do you notice that when you're traveling, especially if you're on your own, that you like when you're on the bus, planes, trains, automobiles, whatever, that you're on your phone a lot, or you not? No.
Yes and no. I mean, a lot of times I've got my camera, I'm on the phone with the camera app open in case I pass something like while I'm traveling that I want to take a picture of or shoot some video of. And then sometimes I'm scrolling through social media. Sometimes I'll realize, okay, what are you doing? You're just killing time now because maybe I'm on a train trying to get from point A to point B. And that's how I'm wasting my time instead of being productive. So I've consciously made myself, like when I'm traveling, I'll take a book with me. Something, Lord knows I got a ton of books that are on my reading list. And so I'll try to force myself to put the phone away and just put the phone away. I just don't keep it in my hand. And then try
Yeah.
to read the book or something while I'm traveling. So that's still a work in progress too. I'm a little better, but not great. Not by a long shot.
I know. It makes me so sad, and I just feel like I hate being addicted to anything, you know?
Yeah. So,
Anyway, so maybe we need to get off right now.
yes.
Because we both got to go. Anyway, thanks, guys, for chatting with us today. It's
Thanks,
so good to see y'all.
And we will see
Lonnell,
you soon.
good to see you.
Good to see you.
Kevin, good to see you.
Like, share, tweet,
And
blah,
namaste.
blah, blah, all that
Get
good
your
stuff.
yoga on, boy.
Namaste. I'll see you soon. Probably from New York, maybe
soon.
next week. All right.
Okay.
Take care.
Okay. Maybe I'll be I'm in Mexico soon. So maybe in Mexico. Okay. We'll see.
We'll see.
Okay.
All right.
Hasta luego. See y'all later. Bye.